What's up, guys? Okay, today I was just gonna do a bit of a video with all the new changes that are coming up later on when Season 3 comes, and I guess most notably the biggest change that's coming up is going to be the jungle change. Um, from what I've read so far, they're basically saying that early ganking pressure is too high from especially like from good gankers like Lee Sin or Udyr or anyone that can just gank really, really strong in the early points of the game. So they want to tone that back, and I think that's kind of understandable in some senses. Like especially with junglers like Shaco, he has crazy early game pressure that it's just like almost hard to stop, especially if the ball gets rolling. And uh, and so I think they're going to be changing the map a little bit to accommodate that. And then furthermore, they're trying to change the setup so that it's less AoE oriented. And some people said that this is gonna, really kill a lot of junglers, and some people say, well, this will open up a lot of junglers. So I think it's kind of like the consensus is that, some people will be less viable, and new people will be more viable. Um, and current people, like I play Udyr quite a bit lately, and I think this could be good for him in a sense, because now you might see a lot more like Tiger stance Udyr jungle as opposed to Phoenix. Um, but I think that'll be, I don't know, it's going to be different, and I think they're doing it on purpose, right, to change the meta of the game a bit, so that it's not just Season 2 is the exact same thing as Season 3. Um, and then after, they're also they're getting rid of leashes completely, which is gonna be, that'll be a big change in and of itself, because I mean, some people rely on those leashes, right? So I think that'll be a huge change. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that they're really changing right now, I feel like, is the jungle. Um, so that is going to be huge. Um, but it's making me wonder, because now the current target will attack. So people with pets like Malzahar or Shaco's boxes, or anybody like that, or at least the spiders. Maybe they'll start tanking now, which will be kind of I don't know. It'll be weird. Like, it's gonna really change jungling a lot. Not only in the early game pressure, but who's gonna be jungling. Um, like people like Shyvana might not really be the best anyways. That's biased because I just don't really like Shyvana as a jungler. um, but anyone that really relied on that heavy AoE, like say Maokai, really relies heavily on his AoE, because basically they're putting the focus into the bigger monsters, and then like less into the smaller ones. Um, and then on top of that, they're going to make the jungle a bit more profitable, so that you're not falling behind, and they're changing the amounts that you're getting from certain monsters. So they're increasing the amounts you get from golems and wolves, and lessening it on Rays, because Rays is such an easy camp to clear that they feel like it gives out too much gold, and so they're rebalancing that, um, to really drastically change what the jungle is going to be like in Season 3. Um, and I think that's pretty much it for the jungle. And then next, they're going to be changing a lot of the items. There's already been a lot of item changes, like that hit to Deathfire Grasp was huge for a lot of people. It's really not in builds anymore, but there's a huge amount of item changes. A lot of items being removed, and a lot of items going out, and more coming in. So they're getting rid of a couple. They're getting rid of Ionic Spark, and Madrid's Blood Razor. And these are two items that they are removing purely because they feel like they're just kind of like troll items. Like, they're not very good, and they only help a select few. Like, they're only good on a couple people. Like, say Ionic Spark being good on Volibear. Um, and they're trying to get rid of items that are good for like that 0.05% of the population. Which means they're also getting rid of the Elixir of Agility, because they feel like that's something that's really only good for the winning AD carry, and just kind of creates a bigger gap for the losing AD carry. So they're getting rid of that. And then they also have gotten rid of Meki Pendant. Yeah, they were getting rid of Meki Pendant, and they were getting rid of... Oh, what was that other item? Meki Pendant and Rejuvenation Bead. They got rid of these two items because they just felt like they were kind of not really fitting. And now anything that these build into are going to be put into Regrowth Pendant and Fairy Charm, which I feel is like kind of a good change because it's going to really make it so that early game you can pick items and not be, like they say, pigeonholed into certain choices that you can take on later game because of what you picked early game. Which was like the example with like Madrid's Blood Razor. Like you would take you know, initially like boots and not boots and pots, cloth armor and pots, and you know, and then build it into Madrid's Razor, and then you know you either build it into Wriggles, which is like a pretty decent item for jungling, but later on, if you decided not to build it into Wriggles, you're kind of stuck with something that you just are going to toss, which is not really too bad, but it could be better, and I think that's what they're going for. So they're transferring over some weapons from the Twisted Tree line, and they're going to be replacing those. So Madrid's Blood Racer is being changed, to Blade of the Ruined King, is that's what they're going to try to get it built into, which has similar but not exactly the same effects. And the actual stats of that are 40 attack damage, 10% life steal. It has the same unique passive, dealing 4% of the target's current health. And I think Madrid's was their maximum health. And then it's got this crazy active, but I'm not sure if that'll be if they'll get rid of that or not, because the active on that is drains target champion, dealing 150 physical damage plus 50% of your attack damage, and healing you by the same. So this is kind of a crazy item. I'm not sure if they're sure what they're doing. I mean, I suppose it's like a tier 3 kind of item, but it's pretty crazy that it basically just keeps you alive for days. And yeah, so going back to other items, they're getting rid of Force of Nature because they just feel like that item's just a bit too overpowered. Because the movement speed and the magic resist is basically a direct counter to any AP carry, and they just felt like that was too crazy. And then one crazy thing that they're getting rid of, they're doing away with Heart of Gold, which I feel like is a really crazy change. I mean, like, I use that on a lot of anybody that you're even going to build slightly tanky. So they're going to be removing that, and basically the alternative was just pick something else. Really was all they really said, because they just said that Heart of Gold is such a good item. Like, who doesn't want more health at an early part of the game? Where you have an opportunity to earn several hundred gold by late game. So they got rid of that, and so I think that's pretty much their point. Is I feel like not only are they trying to adjust and make things a little bit better, they're trying to drastically change the game so that Season 3 is a lot different, and the meta is a lot different. In terms of picks and how, you know, who's going to be lurking in the jungle, and the effectiveness of a jungler altogether. Like, I play, as you guys can see, like quite a bit of junglers, and it's going to be really crazy to see, because I mean, right now, a good jungler can win the game, kind of. But I'm kind of wondering where that's going to go. Like, you know, will junglers actually be able to make that much of a difference anymore? And I think that was their point, is they didn't want one person making such a difference on the entire game. Because I think a lot of people know that as far as jungling goes, you can either make or break your team, um, regardless of if a lane is losing. I mean, you can come in there, and if you're decent enough, then you can put that into the winning favor for the losing team. Um, so I think they're really trying to switch up that. I think they're changing AD carries quite a bit. I know they said that, and they wanted to change the way that AD carries are kind of being played right now, especially like AD casters. They want to change that, um, and I think I think there'll be good changes. Like, it's nothing that I would really cry over, because it's just the game evolving, right? So I don't know. I think there'll be good changes, and yeah, like I'm kind of excited to see what they do, and who's going to be jungling and all that kind of thing. And I'm actually really excited to see what the new jungle's going to look like, because it could be drastically different, or maybe they just put a couple more walls in so that you can't come out in certain areas. So I'm not really sure, but maybe if they release it on the PvE, then I can get on there and try that out. And I'll definitely bring that to you guys as quickly as I can if it does come out on the PvE. So let me know what you guys think, and let me know who you'd like to see in this new jungle, or any ideas or thoughts that you have on this and the changes that they're making. And also, the beat that's playing in the background is from Cyphisage again. You can go and check out his channel, and thanks to him for letting me use this. Um, Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it a bunch. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think, and I'll answer back in the comments. So I hope you guys like that, and I will see you guys next time.